Hey, everybody. Hi, Steve.
Hey,
How you doing? Here we are Saturday night at 7 o'clock Eastern, and count down the hours all the way out to the West Coast. We have a pretty good show tonight. Steve's up here helping because he's just a good guy and represents Indy Great Pyrenees Rescue, right?
yes.
Yeah. So, wow, we got us a good one here tonight. We got us an amazing dog coming up here, and from Montana, and we'll just get ready for Montana. How about that? We just went to Montana. Is it hot there? Okay, so this is boy. He's a classic dog. His name is Sage, and he's an Akbash, and just an amazing breed. We made a little video for him, and we'll get him up here when the video's done. Oh boy. Hi, Jan.
Oh man.
Look at that boy. There's the real deal. Boy, look at him. Boy, he is just classic, isn't he?
Oh, yes.
Wow. Say something. I don't think we hear you.
Oh, can you hear me?
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
There you are. Now there's some interesting news that's happened between this morning and now even, isn't it?
Yep.
So what happened?
He's going to his forever home, getting picked up tomorrow morning.
Sweet.
Wowzer.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's bittersweet. I'm so excited for him.
Yes, that's just amazing. He got adopted. So, and Jen was concerned. She said, "Wow, I guess I can't come on the show." I says, "Yeah, we can. This is what we want to do, and we want to tell everybody when we do it too." So, look at that boy. Oh, he just swiped something, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I have his treat sitting right in front of me.
Yeah.
Great fit.
So, wow. So he's been in rescue quite some time, hasn't he?
Yeah, since mid-January.
How the heck does that happen with him?
I have no clue. He's so good.
They must have kept him a secret for a reason.
I think so.
The best kept secret in Montana is out.
Yeah.
And got adopted. Wow, that's amazing, Jen. That's and I got a question. In the end of that video, it showed you throwing that big old tennis ball and 3 dogs were going after it. Whatever happened to that tennis ball in the end?
I don't know.
Did it make it?
I think it's in his stomach somewhere or something.
Which we wanted to talk about anyway. Anytime you use a tennis ball, and I think I saw it in there, with a giant breed, make sure you use oversized tennis balls. Think about that one.
Yeah, I definitely
accidentally swallow it. So
definitely got some of those.
oh yeah, I got my share. They got hard to find for a little while. Man, look at him. Now, we had one that very similar to Sage on the show. I don't know, a few weeks ago. That, as a matter of fact, the adopter was coming up to meet them both. Right? That was Apollo.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Remember? Yeah. And why they didn't take both, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, but
Couldn't be a handful at all.
no, not at all. So, and we'll see if we can get Apollo back up here, and because he is, boy, look at Sage. I have a soft spot in my heart for the Akbash. You know why?
Why is that?
Because so many people confuse them with a white lab, and it's embarrassing to them.
Ooh.
You didn't know that, huh, Steve?
No, did not.
Okay. Depending on what part of the country you're in, anytime somebody says that they've got a Pyrenees lab mix, take a closer look. Might be Pyrenees Akbash.
Wow.
So, isn't he gorgeous?
I've surprisingly only had one person ask if he was a large lab.
Okay.
But everyone just kept saying, "Is he a Great Pyrenees?"
Well, and that could be because of the fact that your area, there are a lot of Akbash out in the fields. And the Akbash are just amazing. One of the differences between the Great Pyrenees and the Akbash is we all know the Pyres are known to stay with the flock, and they don't. They if they pick up the threat, they'll go eliminate it, and then maybe come back. If you got a flock, then yeah, they'll probably come back. But they're just that's one of the differences. So they're a fierce guardian. Those long legs are very agile. They move quickly. Shoot, I really would hate to guess if an Akbash and a Pyr ever got into it, who would come out on top.
Oh.
So, yeah, wouldn't that be something? So I don't know if you can see it on the screen or not because it's really hard to judge. But the Akbash typically, you know how the Great Pyrenees has the extra fur around their neck? Well, the Akbash, their neck is typically bigger than their head. That's that extra padding protects from the kill shot. So, and yeah, Chris supports that. A lot of people think that they've had Pyr labs over the years too. And with the DNA test, it wasn't just until recently that the Wisdom Panel and the Embark actually got the Akbash into their database. If people would do a DNA on the Akbash, it would come back a lot of times as 100% Great Pyrenees, and you're looking at your dog saying, "What?" You know, and that's because there's a lot of DNA in them. They're cousins of the Pyr, so they just hail from Turkey, and they're considered Turkey's national dog, right next to the Kangal. And Kangal is officially the national dog of Turkey. In this country, we know the Kangal as the Anatolian Shepherd. And I just got dinner served here. This is cool. I got a pretty cool wife here that just distracting. So anyway, you missed out on Sage, but you know what? They have a few more dogs here in Montana, don't you, Jen?
Mm-hmm. Quite a few.
Yeah. How long have you had him?
We got him the second week in January.
I mean, in your home.
In the home?
Yeah. Wasn't he at the kennel, the boarding place?
Yeah, we picked him up second week in January, so he's been in our house for quite a while.
And how'd that go when he first got there? Was it a pretty big adjustment for him, or did he kind of fit right in?
Well, you know how they protect against flight predators? Well, he protected us against our ceiling fan night one for about 2 hours.
You had no idea how heavily armed your ceiling fan was until you got Sage.
I felt so safe.
And you know, sometimes that's just that's just not unusual. That would be consistent with a dog that's never been in a house.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. And and Ashley now she's got a new one, Fred, and he's struggling with his new sister. Well, try changing his name. So now everybody knows that that's a joke, right? So I like Fred's name. Wow. Is this your first Akbash that you've seen, Steve?
Yeah, up close it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to the pier, but I've heard you talk about the Akbash.
Yeah.
But I was kind of like fuzzy on it. But
Okay.
Sage,
All right.
he's a handsome boy.
That's a classic one. The males, most of the ones I had, unless they were grossly overweight, they average about 90 pounds or so. The males. It's just that their legs are so long, and boy, they're quick to move now, and they're not climbers. Thank God they're not climbers. They'll jump over a 4-foot fence like it's not even there. So, but once again, they have to want to go. All right. So, oh, look at this. There's somebody you might recognize, Steve.
I do.
No, that is correct, Vicky. They are short coated. Does that mean they don't shed? No, they shed just the same. It's just shorter. Okay. But always remember, everybody, the Pyrenees, the Akbash, and the Maremas and the Kuvas, they don't technically, they call it, they blow their coat twice a year. All right, because they prepare for the different seasons, and for them, apparently, there's only winter and summer. Yeah. So they basically they only shed twice a year, 6 months in the spring and 6 months in the fall. But it's only twice a year. So, by the way, Vicky is Steve's wife. So,
and has been for a long time.
And has been for a long time. And you have a Great Pyrenees. So
we do.
They have Murphy. Yeah. And he's really settled in, hasn't he?
He has. He's this guy. Struggled. Oh, he did. He did. We're so proud of him.
Yeah.
He's still working with the fireworks and the gunshots and the thunderstorms. But I got to brag on Vicky, amongst many things. But she found a good help for him with the thunderstorms and probably too the gunshots or fireworks. Is our basement. She just opens the door. He's got a spot he goes down to. He's settled there, and he goes off into the corner, and he's good. Don't have to give him. We haven't been trying to drug him. We want to stay away from that if we can.
Yeah, I mean, it's and that's the problem. So it's just storms and fireworks and gunshots are a challenge. It can be a challenge. All right.
Yeah.
So now, so Sage is off the market. He's officially got a home. But once again, that doesn't mean they're out of dogs. Okay. That means you got to go and probably go here. Watch the foster, but go right here and you can see all their other dogs. Okay. So it's great.
That to my wife.
Yeah, it's Great Pier Rescue, mt.rescuegroups.org. All right. And they got some good dogs there now. Wow, you're gonna be fresh out of fosters here tomorrow, aren't you? Oh, yeah, you were muted, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna be fresh out of fosters, aren't you? Who are you gonna take next? You got your eye on any of them?
Who am I going to take next?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm not sure. We have a big trip planned the end of August. So we have
you got to wait for a little bit. Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Whoever needs it. Well,
good. I'm glad because I know about a whole bunch of them down there at that boarding place that needs it. So you just get them all, right?
Although Akbash breed has taken over my heart, though. So.
Yeah.
I tell my peers every day, I says, boy, you guys are lucky I didn't see an Akbash first.
Yeah, my husband and I definitely have a little weak spot for them now. The more we learn about them, they're fascinating.
It is.
And I feel really comfortable hiking with them too. So
I hope so.
Yeah.
You couldn't be any safer.
I know. That's what I figured.
Now, typically the Akbash, since they don't stay with the flock, their first line of defense is not intimidation. So what I've noticed with the ones I've had, when they sense a threat, boy, they posture and they look and they get postured. All right. But they don't bark.
Oh,
They don't intimidate. They go eliminate, and then they come back. So they don't.
Man.
But do they bark? Well, yeah, they're dogs. You know, come on. It's but that's not their first line of defense. And boy, I tell you, they're fierce when they do that. And the ones I've had, I had video of one that we had a while back. She was senior. That she, all you see is a streak going across one of the pastures. And then next thing you know, there's a scuffle. And then you can identify coyotes, but there were like 4 of them. And just her. And she took down the first 2 of them right away.
Wow.
And the third one she got before they reached wherever. She went over the fence to get him.
Wow.
And it was just like so majestic, okay, the way she sailed across there. And took him down, and the 4th one got away. And I bet he never came back. Okay. And then when she came back, well, by that time, the 2 farmers, the ranchers, they were heard a scuffle, and they were on their way down, and she come up, flipped upside down for her belly rub. That quick. Yeah. And I've heard that that's typical, that they have that light switch type. They can go from that to, well, belly rub, just like that. So it's an amazing breed. But that's what we're talking about right now. They typically aren't, but they're still dogs. And they howl. Has she heard a siren, or has he heard a siren yet?
I actually don't think so.
Okay. You're missing out. They can definitely carry a tune, all right?
Oh, geez. Oh, I want to hear that.
Mm-hmm. They can, and especially if you have, we had 3 of them at the same time at the other kennel, and they heard a siren way off in distance. They got the rescue building and the boarding facility all doing the howling in unison.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was a chorus line.
I'd love to see that.
All right. So anyway, now you go hiking. You're pretty active, and you've taken him hiking, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And how has he done?
He's done really well.
He looks like he's not overly pleased right now.
Oh, I have. He sees treats in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
My enticement to get him to stay right here.
Look at that beautiful. See, there's now now they saw his neck. Okay.
No.
Did you ever notice that before I said that with him?
I have not. No, I've noticed. We called him long neck for a really long time.
Yeah.
I've noticed his neck is quite large though.
Yeah.
But I never knew why. I never.
Protect from the kill shot. And look at Murphy right there. You can see Murphy. He's got the extra fur around his neck. That protects from the kill shot. All right. So that's what that's for. So needless to say, martingale collar would be a good, safe one to put on him.
Oh.
But I notice he has no collar, so there's nothing to get hung up on.
Yeah, I take the dog's collars off when they're in the house. So
Yeah. Look at that. Murphy's good with the cats now. Either that or that cat just killed Murphy, one of the 2.
They get along well.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. Okay. Ann has a question. May I ask a question about scuffles? I have Foster and 2 Great Pyrenees of my own. Yeah. See, here's the thing with especially when you have peer and peers. They're the Great Pyrenees and the Akbash and the Maremma and Kubas. They're masters of communication. All right. They will give you body language and signals and everything that just will blow your mind. And if you don't read them right, then you can't communicate back. And you can definitely, this is one of the reasons why they're the most misunderstood breeds of just about any breed. And so when 2 Great Pyrenees sounds like they're killing each other, but there's no fur flying anywhere, technically, that's not an altercation at all. That's a conversation. Okay. And now, do you intervene? Well, the first part of human nature is to go break up a dogfight. let's make sure it's a dog fight first. All right. Because there have been cases that we intervene and they weren't done because they were trying to settle it themselves and they weren't done. We break it up. Now the next one could be an altercation because, well, that's just how that works. So yeah, dogs can have altercations. Always remember, they're not doing this for no reason. There's a trigger. Okay. So if there's an obvious trigger, then you absolutely break them up. But if they look at each other and say, hey, you're big, white, and furry, I don't like you. Well, that's not a trigger. All right. So, and the sex of the dog is, I've never seen the sex of a dog be the trigger of an altercation either. So, wow, look at that. Ann has Fred and his sister is not liking him. And it depends how long you've had him. It may just be she doesn't know him. Right? When two peers communicate, they give twice as many signals out. That's why we got to be very, very careful if it's actually an altercation. Now, if they're new, well, then yeah, they don't know each other and they don't trust each other. Okay, so, but I'd be happy to talk to you, Ann. Just not right now. Well, no better time than present, right? On some things. So, altercations, you got to be careful. So that brings up a talking point. You guys ever been on a walk and next thing you know, your gentle, loving Akbash or Pyrenees turns into Cujo because he sees another dog coming? You know, somewhere along the line, I think a lot of you have seen that. I see it a lot because I look for different ways of handling it. Leash aggression. Well, the leash is not the trigger, all right, but it sure can add fuel to your fire. Always remember, when a dog pulls on the leash, that means one thing, but when you pull on the leash, that means something completely different. So, leash aggression is kind of worded badly because the leash really has nothing to do with it. Anytime you're walking your dog on a leash, and here comes somebody's dog off a leash, and they're coming at them, and they got teeth showing, and they're making all kind of noise. Your dog, it doesn't matter what breed they are, they're at a major disadvantage. Okay, and because you're holding that leash, they can't move. They can't approach and engage like they're bred to do. They're at a big disadvantage, just like Sage is right now. Big disadvantage. So he's treat motivated, right?
Oh yeah. He was not when he first got here, but now he is.
Yeah, that was just a wild guess. All right. So leash aggression. Let's take one of the scenarios here. You're walking down a sidewalk and you see another dog, and first thing that pops into your head is, I wonder what my dog's going to do. Well, that change of emotion, your dog picks it up, and now you know what he's going to do. You just put your dog on alert. And if something happens and he pulls on that leash and you go, oh, crap, and you pull back, you just pulled on the leash now. And there's your second trigger. So a lot of times the dog gets reactive on a leash. Well, mom or dad or whoever's walking him accidentally triggers it in a lot of cases. And but always remember, your dog is at a major disadvantage. So when a dog becomes leash aggressive like that, what we work on is making sure the dog knows that you can protect him. Okay. So what's the best way to protect? Remember, he's at a disadvantage. What's the best way to protect your dog when you've got another dog, hopefully on a leash, that's coming at your dog, and your dog is going Cujo? What do? Get him out of there. Show him you're his protector. Get him out of there. You think he doesn't know that? Yeah, he's going to realize it. And first things first is keep everybody safe. Okay. And everybody starts with your dog. So we don't want him to have altercations while he's on the leash. So, and you don't want to drop the leash to take the disadvantage away because, well, where's your fencing? You know, I mean, but leash aggression, I mean, there's so many different reasons they can do this. Like, say, maybe not even you, but maybe somewhere along the line there was a trainer that, well, leash corrects them. You pop a leash, remember we just talked about the most protected part of the dog's body is the neck. And you pop that leash on the neck to try to, well, make him obey you. See, it doesn't translate the same way. All right. And somewhere along the line, you could get that. That trigger could go as far back as that, and it doesn't even have anything to do with you. All right. So, wow, what do we do? Well, everybody knows that these are livestock guardian breeds. They're bred to go out in the field and protect the flock, and while the farmers are sleeping. And I just want to know if anybody out there is watching knows the first person that walked down that road, saw this big white dog taking down that pack of coyotes, and decided it would be a good idea to make a couch potato out of him. I want to know who that guy was. Make no mistake, this is a livestock guardian breed. And when they go into a survival response, at least you know exactly what they're going to do. They are very predictable after that because they fall back into the breed traits. And now they're going to solve the problem just like a wolf is coming towards their sheep. All right. That's how they're going to solve the problem. Okay. So, well, what do we do? Wow. We can't have that in the house. No, we can't have that in the house. So what's our next best step? Why don't we show them that we can solve your problems too. We can help. We actually know how to do this. But wait a minute. I told him all the time I can solve his problems, but here we are. That's because you didn't show him. Okay. You have to show them. They don't understand what you're saying. And we also let them help you. They're going to help you learn. And partner with your peers. Partner with your guardian breeds. Your partner. In their mind, well, it's not even in their mind. They're going to show you how to do this. All right. And once they're okay with this, guess what? Now, when he sees a dog on the leash coming at him, well, instead of going towards you, approaching, engaging, he's going to come back to you for protection. Big difference. And anybody out there doubts that, no problem. You can doubt all you want. But we've been doing it this way for 33 years now, and it's not just me. Okay. It's no trick. It's relationship. It's attachment. It's giving your dog knowledge. And giving your dog knowledge, you're giving your dog confidence at the same time. There we go again. Wait a minute, you're going to make him confident enough to go? No, we're going to make him confident enough where he doesn't have to go because he's also confident that you can handle this for him. And then if you get in trouble, then your dog's there to back you up instead of the other way around. What better breed can do that for you? Okay. So I tell you what, I surely would want Murphy on my side. I would want Sage on my side. You guys haven't lived yet until you've triggered an Akbosh into a survival response, especially at you. All right. That'll make you buy a new case of toilet paper in a heartbeat. So, like I said, you haven't lived until you've done that. And once you make that attachment with this breed, and Roman says any breed, but I can't speak for any breed. Once you make that attachment, this now has turned into the easiest breed in the world to work with and live with. And I think Steve is starting to see that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good boy.
And I've been exclusive with this breed for 33 years. Everybody says, why? It's just because I'm lazy. It's an easy breed. When I say that, somebody that's owned a couple pairs in the past, I get the most blank looks. What? It's an easy breed. And those of you that haven't made the attachment, then you know what I'm talking about. So Look at him. Look at that boy.
I kept wondering about Akbash and how he is really attached to humans. I always wondered if they were all like that.
Well, I can't say yes, because that would be just like saying all Arabs are terrorists.
Yeah.
All right. And they're not. Everybody, every dog has their thing. It depends on their comfort level. That's very, very important, is their level of comfort. And just because you're comfortable doesn't mean your dog's comfortable. Sorry, you're gonna have to share the screen here. And look, isn't Murphy gorgeous?
He is.
And I noticed, Jen, that your resident dogs are, they're not white. What did he just do?
He just grabbed us from under the couch.
Did we mention how smart they are?
So smart.
Mm-hmm. I was wondering if we ever mentioned that. Hey, Steve, you got a problem.
What's that?
Vicky says now she wants an Akbash.
Oh my gosh. Thanks, Jen.
No problem.
Hey,
Nice work, Jen.
He looks fine though. I'm gonna tell you, I like the look of him.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
He looks like a puppy, but he's almost 3 years old, isn't he?
Oh my gosh.
You're not the best guess.
I guess I keep wondering if he's younger.
Okay.
I don't know. He still has that puppy act, like puppy energy. Every once in a while.
Hard to tell with that breed.
Well,
Yeah.
let me ask a question then, Steve. How would an Akbash, say a male Akbash and a male peer, such as Mr. Murphy here, get along?
Well, first of all, I don't think sex is relevant, because they'll both be neutered. Right.
Right. Oh, that's correct.
How would they get along? It depends on how you teach them to get along. Typically, a dog's not going to look at another dog and say, "I don't like you." That's just not what they do. The dogs are going to look at each other and say, "I don't know you."
Okay.
All right. So, first impressions. I believe first impressions are the most important impression. All right.
Yeah.
So, when you introduce dog to a new dog coming in or whatever, don't let them go nose to nose. Don't do that. They have to rely on body language also. And if they're going nose to nose, all they're seeing is eyes and, some ears maybe, depends on who it is. Let them sniff butts. Butts don't bite. All right.
That's true.
And if one doesn't want his butt stiff, go for a walk. Single file walk. The one that kept turning around, not wanting his butt sniff, have him trail. But don't hold him back. Let him come up and sniff his butt first.
Okay.
And then when he's good with that, switch the order and let the other one come up and sniff his butts that way. Got to get that first impression. No matter what, you want that to be a good one. All right.
Yeah.
And if one of the dogs is known to not do well on a leash, don't take him for a walk. Put him behind the fence and bring the other one up to the fence and, let him meet that way. Don't put him into a position where it's going to fail. So,
Get out of there.
not hard, but some of them, we're human. We're not perfect. We're not Akbash. We're not peers. We're not perfect. They are.
Right.
All right. So can we make mistakes? Yeah. But we can work through this stuff.
Yeah, Murphy and Misty had a little bit of a rough time.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, once he got home, now at the shelter down in Indy, they were fine. They were like buddies that known each other for the last 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
But once it was back on home turf, Misty's home turf, we were a little concerned.
I know you were.
Yes.
Now, I'm pretty sure you understand why, because I told you why about 7 times. But anyway, living it is one thing, and seeing it from the outside looking in, that's another. But I look at the big picture, right? The reason why they got along at the rescue was because he was comfortable.
Yes.
Okay.
I believe you're right.
And when brought him home, took him, he lost his home over there. It may have been a kennel, but it was still his home. and he was surrounded by his friends and family. And now all of a sudden, he's at a new house, and he wants to know where he's at, who you are, and where his mom and dad are.
Yeah.
And then with poor Murphy, the struggle added to it that he had that fear of the, I think his is actually the noise, but he also has the barometric pressure change anxiety because they associate all that. So that's called trigger stacking. Okay. And thunderstorms and stuff like that. You live at Michigan-Ohio border, you're going to have thunderstorms, stuff like that. And then we have add a busier road to it.
Yes.
And all of that adds to it. He has to get through each one of these one at a time. All right. And the more he gets comfortable with one of them, the quicker the next one goes, and quicker the next one goes. So, man, I've seen dogs take 6 months to settle in and do good by him where he's at. Okay. But just because they've got altercations doesn't mean they don't like each other. That means, oh, by the way, when you bring a new dog home, you're kind of messing up all the dogs, because now your resident dogs are saying, who's this? What'd you do,
Right.
Dad? You didn't check with us? Basically, we're forcing a relationship, and the dog had no say in it.
Yeah.
So we really, really want to be able to read the dog's needs, all of them. If you got, and this is where multiple dogs can get challenging, because if you got 5 dogs, you've got dogs with different needs. Okay. And so you just, I mean, it's not hard. You just got to be aware. All right.
Yes.
And that right now he's got a need and it's being met. And both of them.
Yeah.
So, boy, it's going to be a hard day for you tomorrow, isn't it, Jen?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep. Bittersweet.
Now, is he going to have a playmate to play with?
I don't think so, but he's gonna have a lot of grandkids, which he needs kids around him at all times.
Yeah. That's good. Because at the rescues, all of them, if they don't think it's a good match, they're going to refer you to another dog. Okay. Mm-hmm. Trust me, they have plenty of dogs that they can refer you to. And it's just never ending. That's why we do this show, to let everybody know there's no end in sight to this that we can see anyway. All right. So that's why we're here. We're working hard on getting some shelters to come on, because as you can see, you don't have to have a Great Pyrenees to be on this show. You can have an Akbash. By the way, I was going to ask you if you could bring one of your, what are they, border collies? What you have?
Australian Shepherds.
Close enough. I get confused.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how I can differentiate the Great Pyrenees from the Maremma, but I can pick them apart a mile away. But Aussies and cattle dogs, well, cattle dogs are pretty distinctive. But I was going to ask you if you can bring one of your resident dogs up so we can see.
Maybe. My husband took him somewhere, though. So.
Well, that might get difficult, right?
Yeah.
So now, how long did it? How well did? Apparently, introductions went well between your dogs and him. Yeah,
they went well. The 14-year-old was a little grumpy. You're gonna fall off.
And he's graceful. Did he just fall off that couch?
Yep.
Yuck box, ladies and gentlemen. Yuck box. Boy, oh boy. How about that? You got to love the show, right?
Yeah.
She'll be back in a minute. Maybe she'll be back in a minute. Boy, I can't wait for the blooper reel on this. You know it?
Yeah. Well, I'd show you Murphy, but the guy's out. I mean, we haven't given him anything. He's just chilling.
Okay.
He's just taking
and she's back. So did you also fall off the couch? Is that what happened?
He decided to shut the whole computer off. So.
Boy, I can't wait for the blooper reel. And there's the Akbash.
Goof. I love this dog.
You know, yeah. But don't jinx anything. After he leaves, hope for successful adoption, not for a return. Okay.
Yep, 100%.
I can't remember who the heck it was, but somebody was so distraught that when their foster leave, I said, well, why didn't you adopt him? And, because usually fosters have first dibs, but,
Yeah.
But some of them I can understand. Well, if I adopt him, then I can't foster anymore, and I get that. It can be overwhelming, and or financially, they already got 3 dogs, and you add a 4th. That's a big step for vet bills, and always remember that there's cost involved with owning dogs. Okay, and every month there's a cost involved with preventatives. So, because you got to keep your dog safe, and But yeah, Fred, I'd be happy to work with Fred. That'd be fun. Providing he's a guardian breed. All right. I got to be careful with Ashley sometimes. No offense, Ashley. And by the way, speaking of Ashley, I hear rumors she might come on to the show next week with her foster. She also is a foster for the Great Pyrenees Rescue of Montana. She's in Utah. They got the states mixed up, so that's okay. And she had Misha. Misha was a Akbash mix. Okay. Oh, hi, Rebecca. How you doing? Fred is appears. I don't know what the Z part is, but that's okay. I don't have to, right? Rebecca, isn't Sage amazing? Did you watch him fall off the couch? All right, everybody. Always, also, by the way, just so you're aware, we laughed. He made us laugh and stuff, but falling something like that can actually have a very, very bad outcome. All right, this is a giant breed, and they can hurt themselves. So we always want to remember that. Oh, okay. Now, Rebecca is also a volunteer with the Great Pyrenees Rescue of Montana, and everybody has a role, and excuse me, and Rebecca's got a role too. So anyway, Steve, do you have any questions for Jen's? Jen, is this your first experience with Akbash?
It is. Yep.
Okay.
First experience with LGD.
Now, do you have any tips to give Steve when his wife brings one home here tomorrow?
Make sure there's enough room in the bed.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we can get.
By the way, for the farmers out there that says the dogs belong in the field, somebody apparently Sage didn't get the memo.
He did not get the memo at all.
You have cats, Jen?
Now I'm gonna say that garden flocks, that is their natural habitat. But always remember, and we have a big problem with this in this country. All right. You got to train them to do the job at hand. You got to teach the dog to do the job at hand. Okay. Because we're humans. All right. Humans do heart transplants. But I think Jen might get a little uncomfortable if I handed her a scalpel and I said, here, go do a heart transplant on somebody.
Oh, nah.
And she's going to say, I don't know how to do that. It's something similar with the dogs. All right. So they got to learn the job at hand, and that can take a couple of years sometimes. So over in France, I got I got starstruck too. I got to work with a couple of farmers over there, and they had gone into that. And by the way, what they call fields and what we call fields, a little bit different. Anyway, so they train them too. All right. They also have experienced, taught assistance dogs once they are trusted to be in the field like that. Okay. So there's a place right there in Montana that can assist with that, Northwest Guardians. All right. And Natalie has done that, and I think she still does. So she teaches them to do the job at hand. Okay. And
I got a question.
Sure.
Barking. How has Sage been for barking, Jen?
Yeah, Bosh.
Not bad at all. I mean, I do have 2 Aussies though. Don't forget that. they bark a lot. But when he sees another dog out of the front window, then he'll do his morning bark, the really low, loud, scary one. But
that's the notification.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Other than that, even if he sees people or kids or anything, he just sits there and watches them. I'm surprised. I expected more barking out of him.
Okay.
That's kind of how, in general, that's how they are. All right.
Yeah.
Can you get an Akbosh barker? Yeah. Any dog can bark. They're dogs.
Yeah.
But their first line of defense is not intimidation and dissuasion. Their first line of defense is go eliminate the threat. So.
Okay.
So that means they're easier to introduce to the threat. But they'll sail over a 4-foot fence. They're capable of it. So, and everybody, I don't have it up here, but we were talking about one time about the peers that climb. And let me see if I can get this uploaded real quick. But peers are climbers. That's where the double dew claws come in. All right. They climb. And believe it or not, those double dews, that makes them capable of, well, climbing out of the ice if they fall through. But once again, they have to know how to do it. They even have to know they can do it. All right. But the double dew claws allow them to do it. And because their fields over there in France, they're not as flat as ours, just so you know. Okay. But I'll tell you, both breeds are good. Now, and everybody's got their thing they do. Okay. So, but typically a Great Pyrenees they're not jumpers. So I'm going to play this little fun video, then we'll start talking about closing the show down. Steve's already laughing. So just because they're not jumpers doesn't mean they can't jump. Okay. I actually heard the story behind that particular dog that was at a daycare, and that Rottweiler was his buddy. And he only did that at that daycare. So, and that was a 4.5-foot fence, by the way.
Damn.
And he sailed over that like a knockbox, didn't he?
I about wet my pants the first time I saw that video.
So that just goes to show, just because they're typically not jumpers doesn't mean they can't. All right. They're typically not barkers doesn't mean they won't. And you got Murphy. There's no typical about Murphy anywhere, is there?
No.
Other than he's a Great Pyrenees, and he's a very good representative of the breed.
Yeah.
So,
he's
all right.
Good boy.
I don't see any questions coming up. We've got another show tomorrow. Okay. This one was kind of dedicated to Sage, and I wanted Steve to come up. I like Steve a lot. He's a good guy. And if everybody remembers that the Indy Great Pyrenees rescue dog we had on Avalanche over in Indiana, that was good classic Great Pyrenees. Remember, they called him the perfect peer.
Oh. But
now Steve has an argument because he thinks that Murphy is the perfect peer, and that's the perfect Akbosh. You know, there's all how you look at it.
But, you know, I got to mention our former peer that unfortunately lost in March, Samson. Samson was such a sweet boy. He was probably around 10 when we rescued him. He was about 6. We didn't know. That was their best guess. And he had some different attributes than what Murphy has, but he would protect us from the flying birds. You know, if there was birds flying overhead, he was on it. I mean, he just wasn't going to let those birds land anywhere near our yard. But he was such a good boy. And I guess my still limited knowledge of Great Pyrenees, I would call him a perfect Pyrenees. You know?
And I call Murphy the perfect Pyrenees. He's still there, isn't he?
He is.
There you go.
He's sleeping.
Yeah.
He's sleeping on
He's
the
a good
floor
dog.
there.
I knew he was.
Yeah.
You remember how many times did I say to Vicky that, man, I said, are we talking about the same dog? I see him. I saw Murphy different than what they saw him at that time.
Yeah.
Okay? I saw what was trying to come out. They saw what was on the surface at the time.
And I'm really thankful for your insight into that, Steve, because we were concerned.
I was getting worried, not for Murphy,
you know,
but that's okay.
Yeah,
there he is.
He is. He's a good boy.
And what did it all take in the end? Time.
Right.
Time and knowledge.
Right. And still needing it every day.
That's right. So
sometimes it's 2 a.m. and he's alerting us. He's alerting us of a car that's coming down the road that the owner of that vehicle did not fix the muffler, and the car is making lots of noise, and Murphy is chasing that vehicle away, making sure we wake up to understand that there's
and always remember that
challenge.
Okay, what Steve just says is very important. When you got a dog, when your dog runs the wind and barks, well, that 7-year-old child walking home from school, and he barks and barks and barks, and that kid walks away, dog stops barking. Always remember, your dog has no idea, no conception whatsoever that kid was going to continue to walk. Your dog thinks he chased that away. That's a self-rewarding behavior. So partner with your peer. Right?
Yeah.
That way you can chase the dog away. Your bark's not as loud. When you partner with your peers, I'll tell you what, I've seen them go through windows barking at them. Oh, well, not through. They break them, and then they run because they broke it and they're in trouble. Okay. But they've broken windows doing that. So you partner with your dog, you'll save money on windows, and you'll have a great relationship and a much quieter home. Okay. And it's not hard. That's why I said this is an easy breed. It really is. I'm just lazy. So, but anyway, tomorrow we have a great show coming up. We have a dog named Zisco coming on, Zisco. They call him Otto for short. I like that. Oh. Yeah, it's easier to spell.
It's a good name.
He's part of the Z litter out of Texas. He's in Washington in his foster home, and you get to meet him tomorrow. And whoever else happens to pop on, because this is just like a free-for-all. Did you see what I'm talking about now, Jen? Free-for-all. Now, if we get a lot of dogs on or a lot of guests, then we'll structure something to it. But right now, we're just having a lot of fun and letting you guys join us. This is a lot of fun. Fostering is very rewarding. Is he your first foster with Montana?
He's talking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So back in January, that was where your adventure started with the Great Pyrenees Rescue Montana, correct?
Yeah. I fostered other breeds, but yeah. This is my first.
And what's your experience been? Good, bad, average, fair? 1 to 5. No, let's go 1 to 10. Let's raise the bar on Carole.
10. Started as an 8. Now at a 10.
That's starting pretty high.
I know.
That's pretty impressive, Carole, Rebecca, and everybody that's involved.
He was good from the start. Well, he was challenging at the start, but I learned how to live with him and work with him. I think that was the most important part.
And was he different? What other breeds did you foster before?
Breeds? A lot of Aussies. I've always been an Aussie person.
Those are the handful.
Yep. Yeah, they're a lot of
Wow.
work.
But you know what? There are different types of handfuls. Would you
Yeah,
agree with that?
definitely.
Yeah. So, how did you know that Montana Great Pyrenees Rescue needed fosters?
I don't remember how. I think I was searching. I was searching dog rescues, and I think I might have seen something on Facebook.
Okay. So you didn't know they were there until.
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. Hear that, Carole? Go get the word out. Looks like Carole's an Aussie person too. Hi, Carole. Okay, we can't talk about her no more. She's actually watching. All right. Yeah. And everybody remember that through the end of the month, and the folks that adopted Sage took advantage of this. The adoption fees are half price. Okay. So now I don't set the prices. So you want to know what the price is? Get a hold of the Montana Rescue. All right. That'd be your best bet.
I've got a question from my wife.
Okay.
And
Do they have transport to Michigan out of Montana? Is that your question?
Well, that's probably one of them. But this is we have a neighbor that's really friendly with Murphy, and Murphy likes to go see John. And when they're at the fence, he'll jump up on the Murphy will actually put his paws up on the side of the fence.
Wow.
And let John pet him and just love on him. And then when John walks away, we say goodbye and we'll talk to you later and all that. Murphy just starts barking at John. What is your
barking like he wants to eat him?
No, it's.
You would have to send me video.
Yeah.
At a kind of an angle to where, like, say, maybe behind, like, cross angle to where maybe I can see John, which isn't near as important. But let me see what the body language. Let me see what Murphy's saying.
Okay. Yeah, right. We'll arrange that.
Yeah. And always remember that, everybody. What did I just say? I needed video. Okay. So always remember that when you ask for advice on Facebook groups. If they now, and also too, they can, unless you've got Roman or somebody that works with all these dogs, chances are you're just going to get their opinion with one dog, which is probably what you're looking for anyway. Their opinion with one dog. All right. With me, that's not what I do. So I just asked him for video. Okay. So, and I know Murphy.
Yeah, I don't think it's aggressive at all.
Okay.
I have an opinion, but
I think he didn't want him to leave. I think you're losing your dog.
I think that's the case. I think he's not done with talking to John and letting John love on him. To be honest, you know.
Okay. I think Murphy's got a new second dad there.
And it's just the same thing like with our daughter and grandsons. When they drive out of the driveway, he's barking at them, you know. And I think it's kind of like, come back and see me. I didn't tell you you could leave.
And speaking of his grandkids, Jen, how does Sage do with kids?
So well. So, my gosh.
And you really, that was almost like it was bred into him, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he met his first kid, and the kid just grabbed him and gave him a huge hug as Sage pushed his head into the kid's stomach, like, pet me.
That's one of a kind. That's not typical sweet. Of the Akbash or any guardian breed, right? Wow. Okay. We want to always be on our toes around children. Never forget, it is not the dog's job to get along with kids. It's your job to teach your kids how to respect the dogs. Yeah. All right. And they're not pillows.
No.
Right. Just ask him. Well, he might be.
I think he's part pillow.
Part pillow? Yeah. He sure is beautiful. Thank you, Jen, for fostering him. I can't wait till you get back from vacation and get another foster. We'll have you back on, if you don't mind.
I'm excited.
Yeah. And you got to stay in touch. Okay.
Yeah, so definitely.
All right, everybody. Well, that's it. But we're doing a show on Sundays. We're going to see how that goes for a while on Saturdays and Sundays. Because a while back, we asked everybody, what day would be best because we were doing it Sunday then. And Carole got some responses that Saturday they liked. So here we are. But the other markets, and this is the market differences, they like Sunday. So see, the problem of it is we don't have a problem. We can do 5 shows if we need. Right. So tomorrow we'll do another show, but now that one's a different time. It's going to be at 1 o'clock Pacific and 4 o'clock Eastern. You guys figure out in between. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. We had actually not that bad of an audience or viewership or whatever you want to say. But we're out of here. I got to finish. I feel bad about eating in front of everybody, and that's balsamic chicken, and my wife does a great job of that.
Yeah, I have to get some of that.
Yeah.
You have to eat it fresh.
What's that?
You have to eat it fresh.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't mind nuking it myself because I don't leave my plate with all these guardians around here. They don't guard your food now, okay? They don't. They have a drag race to your food now.
Yes.
Way. So
Murphy showed us that.
Yeah. So anyway, well, everybody, that's it for this week. Let me find where the exits are. Oh, we gotta do this. I forgot about this. We can't exit until we go back here because that's where the exit video is. All right, everybody, we'll see you. Well, hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye, everybody.